Hello and welcome to the Relationship Skills Podcast. My name is Madison Trudeau. I am a relationship skills coach. I teach women how to harness the power of their relationships to build the kind of life they want. If you want a family, if you want to be married, if you want to have a fantastic group of friends for the rest of your life, this is the place where you can learn how to build that life that you want. As always, these podcasts are sponsored by my Relationship Toolbox sessions. If you are interested in a one-on-one session with me to learn more about the way you think about relationships and how you can move closer to having a lifelong partnership, this is the session for you. If you include code AUTUMN, you can receive 50% off of your first session. Go to madisontrudeau.com/offers to get started. Hello, my podcast loves. Today, I really wanted to talk about a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. I think that a lot of women struggle with this. A lot of women, especially when you are dating, when you are thinking of getting married, and when you are thinking of having children. I think a lot of us struggle with this idea of how do I know when is the best time to do this? How do I know that I am ready? How do I know that this is the right person to do this with? And I think that we get caught up too much in this wondering, is this the right person? Am I with the right person? Is this correct? Is this right? Is this meant to be, right? We get so caught up in the meant to be, in the is this person the one thing? We really lose sight of having fun while we are trying to really kind of figure out what we want our lives to look like. Do we want this person to be in our life? And I want to address that today. First thing off the bat, I think that we should just start maybe this series. This might be a series of podcasts. Today, I really want to focus on the dating portion. Let's just start at the beginning. How do you know that somebody is the person that you should be investing this time in? How do you know if somebody's worthy of investing your time in? And that can be really nerve-wracking, especially if you're somebody who's very busy. How do you know that this person is not going to be a waste of your time? Now, if the real question is, how do I know this person is not going to waste my time? There are a few things that you will begin to notice. Is this person willing to follow your boundaries? Is this person willing to respect that you have certain things going on in your life? Or do they seem like they really are going to take up a ton of your time just out of the gate? Because if this is somebody who is going to demand that you see them a certain amount of times throughout the week, and they can't really understand that you are a busy person, you might have a business, you might be in college, and you can't see them constantly all the time, you can't answer their texts immediately, then this is probably going to be a person who's going to take up too much of your valuable time and likely is overly controlling. The next thing that you want to look out for, I guess these are red flags in dating that you can notice and know this person is not going to be a person I want to invest my time in. I don't want to give my time to this person because things likely will not turn out. I'm not saying that it never will, and I'm not saying that these are hard and fast rules for everyone, but these are definitely things that you need to know as a person who is dating and seeking somebody to spend the rest of your life with. You're not here kidding around, you're not here joking around, you're here to find a partner. So again, that second thing that you're going to want to look for, is this person telling you straight up that they don't want anything serious? This is one that a lot of women miss. They think that men are just playing hard to get when they tell them that they don't want anything serious. Men are telling you the truth. Men are not complicated people, I am telling you. I know it's hard to believe. They're not playing games with you. They are literally telling you to your face that they do not want anything serious. That is going to be a time waster, big time. Please do not spend time on this man who is straight up telling you, I am not ready for anything serious, or I don't want anything serious. Now, the third and final thing to watch out for when you are looking for somebody who is going to be a good investment of time is that they are really they have information about themselves readily available. Now, the third and final big red flag for time wasting that I'm going to go over today is they need to offer you information about themselves readily. This means that they are not waiting to hear your opinion about something before they give their opinion of something. You don't want to end up with someone who is just telling you what they think that you want to hear. You would want to end up with somebody with their own opinions. And especially if you are the strong, independent woman that listens to my podcast, you want to end up with somebody who is equally strong and independent and has their own opinions. This person should offer their opinions readily, but should not be overly argumentative. You're looking for somebody who wants to have a pleasant conversation about things that they enjoy. And they are also willing to do a give and take in the conversation. They want to hear about you as much as or more than they want to talk about themselves. But please do make sure that you are not offering too much of your own information off of the bat so that they are not able to chameleon themselves into the person that you want them to be. You don't need someone to agree with your favorite movie on the first date or your favorite kind of wine or your favorite coffee or your favorite food. Those things are not marks of compatibility. Now we are going to move in what are marks of compatibility. What are things that you can look for that will tell you, yes, this person is worth investing time in? First, this person is an open book. They tell you this openly and freely. They say, you can ask me any question you want to. This person wants you to ask them more questions. This person wants you to have the reins on this conversation. They tell you that you can ask them any question, you can get to know them. These are things that you will notice, again, in the first few dates, there is nothing wrong with investing a few dates into a person, right? You are not wasting time by going on a few dates with someone to gauge them. What I'm talking about is wasting a year on someone, right? We don't want to waste a year or 6 months on a person. We want to go on a few dates, and we want to go on multiple of these dates in order to determine if this person might be the right person to move forward with. But this person who is the right person to move forward with will tell you, hey, like everybody, I have a past. You can ask me any question, and I am willing to answer that as honestly as I possibly can and with as much enthusiasm as I possibly can, because I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel as comfortable as possible with me. So if you have questions about anything, feel free to ask. Now, this doesn't mean that you can react in any way after you ask him a question. There are probably questions that you don't want to ask this person, right? You don't want to maybe know information about their exes, right? But this person is willing and readily able to give you that information, and they want to because they want you to know that they are a person that you can trust. Now, the third thing that you are going to want to look for in a partner, something that you will want to seek out and know that this is not a waste of time, is somebody who has goals. Now, I don't mean necessarily financial goals. You don't have to marry somebody who is super, super highly driven in their career, but they know what they want out of life. They know where they want to be living. They know that they want to be married. They know that they want to have kids. They know that they want to have close friendships. They want to own a business, or they do own a business, or whatever it is, they know what they want. They have a direction, and they specifically know what they want out of life. Now, this is going to be a really great investment because you can say, hey, I know what I want too. Do these things align for us? Do we want the same things? And now this needs to be something, listen to me, this needs to be something that you talk about within the first few dates. Now, this is maybe not a first date conversation, but this needs to be talked about very soon when you are getting to know somebody in order to not waste your time. Because if you start dating somebody and you decide to become official and you cut off your, possible relationships to others because you have become exclusive, and you discover that this is a person who doesn't want to have kids and you want to have a family of 9, that's a huge problem, right? You need to look for somebody who wants to have a large family if you want to have a large family. If you are somebody who is looking to cut the bullshit, not waste your time, and find somebody to spend the rest of your life with, you need to be looking for somebody who also wants to do those things. You don't want to be with someone who wants to go to, Reno. I don't know. You're not looking for somebody who doesn't know what they want. You're looking for someone who very specifically knows, I want to have a family. I want to have this big of a family. I want to live here, or I want to be doing this kind of thing. And so we need to move to this part of the country because this is what I want. And is able to look at your goals and knows, okay, there are going to be times when I need to give up what I want to do in order to support her in what she wants to do. This needs to be a supporting system, right? If you are watching the video podcast, I am supporting one fist with the other because that is what needs to happen. You need to be able to support one another and build each other up in different times of your lives. And if this person also is not able to give on what they want, that's probably not the person for you. So these are all conversations and flags that you are looking for, both in the beginning red, and now we're, have discussed those green flags. These are the things that you are looking for when you are on your first few dates with someone. Seriously, people really think that I'm joking or that you can't possibly talk about these things on the first few dates, but you can and you should. Please talk about these things out of the gate, especially if you are someone who is busy, if you have a lot going on, if you're working hard on your career, if you're working hard in college. These are things that you must ask out of the gate. Now, if you are not looking for a serious relationship, scratch all of this information. None of this applies. I don't know how to help you with a non-serious relationship. What I do know is how to help you get a lifetime partnership. This is the advice that is going to get you a lifetime partnership. If you're not interested in finding a lifetime partnership, this is probably not the podcast for you. In this podcast, we talk about how to build the life that you want. If you are not in a stage where you are thinking of the life that you want to have, or at least thinking into the future and saying, you know what, I do at one point want to seek out a long-term lifetime partnership, then this is not the podcast for you. If you are not thinking of those things, and if you are not at least preparing for a time in your life when you are going to want to be serious, there are other podcasts. Go find the Call Me Daddy podcast. That's a great one if you are, not looking for anything particularly serious. They give some fun advice, but here we talk about how you can build your life into the life that you want. And we talk about how you can if you want a family, let's talk about how you know that, right? Let's go ahead and transition into how do you know if this is a person that you should marry. Now, we're going about 6 months to a year and a half into the future of this relationship. So taking a look at that, how do you know that you are ready to marry someone? Now, I am going to maybe blow some minds. When I learned this, it blew the top off of my head, guys. I am telling you. Men see themselves as single until they are married. I don't know. That blew my mind when I found that out. And let me tell you how I found this out. So maybe this is obvious to some people. This was not obvious to me, okay? I have always sought out a lot of stability and just a lot of, I think, stability in my relationships, and largely women that I work with also seek out this stability in relationships, this knowing, this for sureness, which makes dating extremely difficult. I did not realize this until well after I was married. Actually, I had started this business. I was working with a couple, and they came to me, and I asked them to go through because I was just starting, I asked them to go through one of my relationship assessments, and I'm looking at their results, and I see that one of the male partner marked that he was not 100% committed to the relationship. And this is a person that I know, I'd asked them to take it, and I was very surprised. Because I know this man, I would have thought that he would have marked it as 100%. And I decided to take this to my husband, as I often do when I'm working with men. I don't have a male brain, and so sometimes I don't interpret data the way that it is intended to be interpreted by a man's brain, right? So I will sometimes take this data to my husband. I took it to him and I showed him, and I was like, can you help me understand this? Because I know this person. I know that he's not cheating on her. What does this mean? And he said, oh, well, he's not married to her. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, like I would say to me or to men, like 100% committed is like married, you're all in. And I was like, wait, so he sees himself as single because he's not married to her? And he was like, well, yeah, he is single because he's not married to her. And guys, I don't know why. So I didn't know that and I didn't understand that until my husband told me that. Now, this explains so much about the struggles that we had in our relationship when we were dating. I wanted for sure security, and he was seeing himself as a single person. And I think that many women look for this level of security that men simply cannot offer because they are not married. They don't see themselves as 100% committed. And trying to get them to say that they're 100% committed before that they're married, it just creates a lot of stress because we're not speaking the same language. And oftentimes women overcommit themselves to relationships. Even when we start dating somebody outright, we will just, or if we like someone, we will just not pay attention to other people. We just won't go on dates with other people because there's this one person that we really like, we haven't even talked to, so we won't even like date other people. So, so my husband was not dating other people, but he saw himself as a single person. He didn't see himself as a 100% committed person because technically he was not 100% committed, and neither was this individual man that I was working with. And this helped me understand men and the way that they think about relationships so much. So it's possible that you are feeling that you are ready, or that you are 100% committed to a relationship and that you're all in as if you were married, but he probably is not thinking of things that way. He is probably just thinking of you as a girlfriend because you are a girlfriend, right? So all of this is to say, you might feel extremely ready to get married to this person, and you might talk to them about it, and maybe they are having cold feet. Maybe they say that they need to work through some things before you get married. That's okay. You want them to work through those things and encourage them and give them space. If you are getting to a point where you're like, hey, we either need to get married or break up, I would encourage you to schedule a relationship toolbox session with me. We go through an assessment called the Prepare and Rich assessment, and I can help you determine where you guys both are in different parts of your relationship, if you're on the same page, if you're not on the same page, and I can help you work through those areas so that you can determine how close are we to getting married, or, like, what is this other person actually thinking, right? Because sometimes our partners don't necessarily know how to communicate those thoughts and feelings. So you are more than welcome to sign up for one of those sessions. I would love to have you. I'd love to see you. Or if you would want to email me and talk to me about this kind of thing before you actually commit to doing something like that, you are more than willing to email me. My email is madison.trudeau@outlook.com. And anybody, seriously, please just reach out to me, email me. I am always more than welcome to talk to you about my offerings and how I can help you in any situation. So all of this is to say, you will know you are ready to marry someone when you feel as secure as you can. You feel that you can trust them with anything. You feel that you like to be around their family. You like their friends. You like their life choices. You know their goals and they're working toward those actively. And when this person feels like they have worked through their stuff, if there's somebody they need to forgive in their past, if there's something that they really need to work through before they get married, whatever that is, I really, really want to encourage you, don't hound them. Again, come and talk to me, come and see me. I can help you with that, but you want them to work through what they have before they get married so that they can be 100% into the relationship with you. And if it's kind of getting to be a long time and you guys haven't gotten married, and I'm saying like 5 years, I think is maybe a little bit too long. I would say, hey, I think that this is an important conversation to have. I really want to marry you. I feel that I've made that pretty clear, and I just want to talk about, are you ready to get married? Is there anything that you need to work through before we do this? How can I help you? Is, there anything that I can do? Or you can even say, hey, I am really liking where we're going with this relationship. I know that we've been together a long time, and I know we've been talking about getting married. I think it would be a really good idea to talk to this coach person and see what they have to say about our relationship, where we are, and, kind of like how we're doing, so that we can decide how to move forward with our relationship, because we've been together a while, and I want to make sure that we are on the right track. You will know you are ready to marry someone when they are ready to marry you, which sounds so annoying, but it's true. You are not ready to marry that man until he is ready to marry you, point blank, period. You will probably be ready before he is. That's not always the case, but with many, many of the women that I work with, they are ready, and including myself, I have worked with myself, and many women are ready to get married before their partner is ready to get married. And this can be for a multitude of reasons, but often men have things that they have not worked through, and they need to work through those things before they get married. So I encourage you to encourage them, and do not put more pressure on them. The more that you want to get married, and the more you want to focus on that and talk to them and pressure them, the best thing that you can do is focus on yourself as much as possible, becoming the best version of yourself, starting to incorporate the kinds of things that you want to have in your schedule. What kind of hobbies do you want to have? Get a hobby if you don't have a hobby. Stop focusing on your partner so much, because it will drive you insane. Get a hobby, get something to focus on that is not your relationship, so that you are able to give them the space to work through what they need to work through. And they will come around. They will get to a point where they've worked through what they need to work through. And if they need to talk to somebody, there is always therapy. Now, never tells, you have to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. Look, everybody needs to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. I go to therapy. But that does not mean that we can hound others into going to therapy, right? You can suggest it, and you can say, hey, I know that you really want to work through this, and I know that it might be uncomfortable, but I'm wondering if you would be willing to kind of go to therapy and talk to a professional about this, not because you are broken, not because you're a bad person, not because you're mentally ill, but because this is a big thing to unload. This is a lot, and you deserve to have a space where you get to talk about this with somebody who is not invested in the outcome. Someone who, they want the best for you, but they aren't pressuring you to lean a certain way. They're just there existing to help you work through something. You deserve that. Would you like help in finding one? What do you think? What are your thoughts, right? Owning that you are wanting to help and support them as much as possible, and not pressuring them into making a decision and proposing to you, and right, that is going to be the biggest help. So those are the topics that I wanted to talk about today. That is what I wanted to cover. I wanted to make sure that we were able to talk about dating, both on the very, very front end and on the very, very back end of dating. We will talk about more about starting a family, what that looks like, in our next episode. I'll go ahead and make this podcast a two-parter. So we're talking about dating, and then we will talk about being married, starting a family, how do you know when you're ready to do that, in the next podcast episode. If you are interested in kind of staying in the know and learning more about what I do, and just kind of staying in this environment of how do I create the life that I want to have with the relationships with people that I want to have, how do I heal myself, the way that I think about relationships, I encourage you to join my Facebook group, Begin Healing Your Heart. And you can find that just by looking for groups, Begin Healing Your Heart. You can type that right into your search bar on Facebook, or you can go to my Facebook page. It's Madison Trudeau Coaching, and that group is under my groups on my Facebook page. You're also welcome to like and follow me for more information there. I post as much as I can in there, and there is a community of strong, independent women who are also seeking to heal their hearts and to get into really solid, committed relationships that are healthy and healing. If this inspired something in you and you're saying, I really need to learn more about the way that I think about relationships, what I want out of relationships, and I need someone who is going to hold me accountable to these things so I don't end up with another freaking jerk or somebody who is wasting my time, so that I can get what I want out of my life, so I can create the family and the life that I've always wanted, I really, really encourage you to take a look at my relationship toolbox sessions on MadisonTrudeau.com/offers. You can also join group coaching. I do group coaching every Monday night, and you can learn more about becoming the person that you want to be in a community of just a tight-knit, small community of women who are becoming the person that they want to be. Again, you can get 50% off of your initial relationship toolbox session by entering in code AUTUMN at checkout. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for listening.